Good evening and welcome to another episode of Ox Sports Unleashed. Welcome if you're in your toilet, your bathroom, your jacuzzi, your steam room, your greenhouse, wherever you're watching us.
Your cricket pavilion,
wherever. Welcome to episode 19.
Wow.
A show that has actually brought you some really exclusive interviews. Last week, paddle tennis with George Sambach, a new sport that's growing massively worldwide. We brought you Carl Ellis, England boxing coach, and also other things that we've brought totally exclusive to you, as we are now calling ourselves the #1 show, football show in Oxfordshire, your county, sports show. So welcome. We have another incredible exclusive tonight, two exclusives really, because we've got two special guests. Please stay tuned for that, because that's going to be pretty special and a real exclusive concerning Witney Town Football Club. So looking forward to meeting the new manager, and Kdog will have the questions for him later. As you will notice, we've got a new, sort of new presenter tonight.
Hello.
Oh, you're back?
I'm back.
You decided to...
I thought I'd grace you with my presence this evening, yeah.
I see.
Yeah, it wasn't very well last week. Thank you very much to the locksmith, though. He was very good,
Locksmith,
actually.
yeah,
A good
very
replacement. We need to get the old master on at some point, don't we? Our other producer, Mr. Ride, who's sitting behind the all the technical stuff here. A lot of people that have come in to be interviewed, our guests, have been quite surprised with all the technology. I haven't got a clue how any of it works. So, yeah, very, very warm welcome. Thank you to everybody that's joined us. Massive viewers already, which is amazing. As Daryl says, we've got a couple of really exciting guests this evening, and we'll bring you that a little bit later on in the show. We've also got, as always, highlights from a lot of our football matches, Oxford City and Banbury and Didcot, a results roundup, a step 5 and 6 review of last weekend, and lots more. So please stay tuned. We've said this very many times. If you are watching this for the first time, please hit subscribe on our YouTube channel. We've had 4 new subscribers this evening, which is fantastic. If you hit subscribe and like, then you can tell YouTube that you're liking what we're bringing to you. What the plan has always been is to bring the coverage of sport back to Oxfordshire. We're aware that sporting coverage in Oxfordshire hasn't been as great as it has been, for no fault of anybody's really. It's just the way of the world. So we're trying to bring all sorts of different sports into your living rooms. And as Daryl said last week, paddle tennis was a good example of something completely new. We had Aunt Sally on here. We featured darts and the ice hockey and hockey. So loads and loads of sports. And the outdoor track and field athletic season is coming up soon. I know that Radley have tried to get in touch with me. Apologies, Alex Armour, I haven't phoned you back yet. I will do, I promise, in the coming days, and we'll certainly feature you guys as well during the year ahead. Right, I think without further ado, we'll crack on with this evening's show. We'll start, as we always do, with highlights from the weekend's football, and we've got highlights from Oxford City, their National League game against Southend United, and also highlights of Banbury United's game. They had the trip up to Buxton, one of the most beautiful places in the country, really lovely place, and we're bringing those highlights as well. But first of all, Oxford City were looking to bounce back from a 7-1 defeat against Dagenham the week before, and they had the unenviable task of facing Southend United on Saturday, and here are the highlights from that game in the National League.
Against Henry Sandat, and free kick to Oxford City. Harvey Greenslade going down. The game underway again pretty quickly. Williams Bichelle finds Reece Fleet in the middle of the park. Good ball through to Josh Parker. Josh Parker's got a chance, and the flag has gone up for offside. The ball is in the back of the net from Rennie Smith. Josh Parker just straight offside, I think. He squared the ball to Rennie Smith, who put it in, but the assistant's flag had already gone up for offside.
Well, we have probably the worst angle of that offside, but it looked tight. I thought Josh Parker might have just been a little bit unlucky there, but we'll have to watch it back. The linesman was certainly very confident with that decision though, but did so well there. I thought he was going to work his way down the right. He will have another chance here.
Yeah, he does. Really good vision from Josh Parker. Williams Bichelle, and he has forced a fantastic save from Colin and Ngundi, because that was going into the bottom corner. It's their first corner of the game, Andy, and City need to defend this.
right in front of the 1,200 travelling fans. Corner floated into the box. It's not a bad effort as well, but it floats over everyone. Picked up by Fongo. Left-footed cross into the box, looking for Scott Morris. Met by a pink shirt. Again, struggle to clear it here. They can't get the lines clear, City, and eventually it bounces to Williams-Michel. Lets it run. It's off the bar. Eventually cleared away, but no, it's not been cleared away. Eventually is from Reece Fleet. Wow, what an opportunity that was. They just can't seem to find that touch or that pass to get them into a good space to try and bring their team forward and have a little spell of possession. Scott Morris, ball down into the right channel. Husin, first time cross across box with his right foot, and it's another great save from the goalkeeper Tom Watson. Linesman's flag up. The linesman flag has gone up for offside. The ball run underneath his feet and out for a Southend throw in. Cross into the box. That's not a bad one. Cardwell, and then bounces around in the 6-yard box again, but eventually cleared again. Josh Parker goes down. He's having his shirt pulled there. Referee John Mulligan hasn't seen that, so Southend will continue to attack. Brooklyn Kabongola, after leaving Southend United, he's getting some stick. The youngster's got to have a real professional head here. Scott Morris, good cross into the box, and he's blown it over. What a chance that is. Played to Kensdale now. Southend, and out of the feet of Andaningi, and it's not a great kick from the goalkeeper. Ashby, 30 yards out. Ashby shoots, and he hits the crossbar. What a shot from Josh Ashby. What a goal that would have been.
And there's a chance here for Oxford City to break with Andre Burley. Burley finding Reece Fleet. We'll give you some more local scores in a moment. Fleet just puts the ball through. Good little ball through, and a really good save from the goalkeeper, Colin Andegundi.
Quick and strong, powerful to run into the box, and brilliant shot as well from the centre half, but another great save.
Corner taken short, ball coming in from Ashby, out to the right hand side, ball back in towards Parker, hasn't been cleared, and then Jacob Roddy scuffs a shot wide and really well placed on the other side. I wasn't sure there which way that was going. I had to just wait there. So City really on the back foot at the moment. All the tall big men are back in the penalty area as this in-swinging corner comes in. It's a good-looking corner, headed in towards the back post. Josh Parker back there defending. City haven't defended well there, and a free kick has finally been given. And I'll tell you what, this is Nathan Ralph. And if this is Nathan Ralph and the referee is going to talk to him, he's been sent off. Nathan Ralph has been sent off for Southend United.
Ross, full time here, Oxford City 0, Southend United 0. Well, if it didn't look like it last week, these lads are definitely up for the fight, because we were really unlucky, I thought, there not to come out with all 3 points. Would you agree?
Yeah, I thought it was an even game. I thought both teams had some chances, but I thought we had the better chances. Ashby's rifle gone off the crossbar. I think Jacobs had one back post with right foot, could have maybe got it on target. But the 2 key ones were probably Aaron's chances, first half, second half. And listen, the goalie's made some great saves. He made 2 good saves, so give him credit on that one. But I think the most pleasing thing is we're getting Aaron into those positions now, and he's growing in confidence every game. He's getting assists now. He's getting on the end of things and nearly chipping in with goals. So for me, that's really positive. But a real battle today, because Southend like to put the ball in the box. We knew that. We knew it was going to come into our box. We knew they had some big boys who are ready to come on the pitch or start in Cardwell and Dackers. We had to weather it, but we also played some really good stuff. And so overall, really good performance in terms of last week to now. We've worked on things, we've addressed things. It was uncomfortable addressing it, but today, real positive performance, and the main thing was a clean sheet. So Tom coming in the sticks, first game, clean sheet. You can't ask any more for a goalie.
Ross Jenkins there reflecting on the 0-0 draw against Southend at the weekend. A valuable point even for City. So we'll see how they did in the week. Could they back that up with a possible win? We'll soon find out. On Saturday though, Banbury were playing Buxton in a game where they've had a really good run of late. So could they keep that run going? We're going to show you the highlights now.
Sound on this, so yeah. So unfortunately there's no sound on these highlights, which is a little bit annoying, but this was a trip to Derbyshire, one of the nicest places I visited, Buxton, and They went in front, Buxton, there fairly early on in this game. Thank you to Buxton Football Club for their footage. As you can see, another 3G surface. Quite a nice ground there, but the loudest tannoy system that I've ever heard. Buxton then had another chance there, which Jack Harding saved really well, but then he brought the man down and the referee had no option but to give a penalty. Really good save from Jack Harding, but then he brought the player down, and this is the penalty which made it 2-0 to Buxton. Harding, of course, saved a penalty at Chester the week before, but he couldn't do anything about that one. So it was 2-0 then at half-time, and unfortunately it didn't really get any better, and Buxton went 3-0 up early in the second half there with another goal from close range. Banbury then finally started to get themselves into the game a little bit in the latter stages of the game, and that was a first opportunity there, and Ken Charles fired that one in.
It didn't start well with Ricky pulling out, but awesome. I thought we had enough out there to go and do well and win the game, but we give away in possession too many soft goals, and it's certainly for me. I thought at times we'd have played the better football, but we never really caused them major problems until we went down to 10 men.
Is that really the disappointing thing, that you didn't really test Joe Young when you were still in the game?
Yeah, of course it does. That is, and then we've lost two. We've lost Rudy and we lost Waller as well, and you finish the game with 10 men. It's very difficult, but we showed a real soft underbelly today, and you can't do that when you're in possession. You got to be better defensively. You got to be switched on more, and I just felt that we switched off and got caught.
That's Kevin Wilson just reflecting on that 3-1 defeat at Buxton. Unfortunately, Charlie Waller, centre-half, who's on loan from MK Dons, suffered a really nasty injury in that game. His season is over, sadly, due to that injury. He's gone back to MK Dons, and our very best wishes go out to Charlie, who's been a really good player for Banbury this season. Now, the eagle-eyed amongst you will notice that Daryl has vacated, and joining me now for the first exclusive interview is the new manager of Whitney Town Football Club. We gave you a little bit of a teaser at the start of the show, and we've spoken to Paul Foster previously. Well, the new manager was announced last week, and I'm pleased to say that we've invited Ben Reardon into the studio for a little chat, and we've got a little bit of an exclusive as well during this interview, which we'll hopefully keep you on tenterhooks for. First of all, Ben, welcome. Thank you for coming in to our studio. I know that it's a bit of a whirlwind for you, isn't it? But just first of all, your thoughts about being appointed as the first manager in the new era of Whitney Town Football Club.
Well, firstly, I'd just like to say thank you for having me on tonight. It's a real privilege to be here. But yeah, it's really exciting times, to be honest with you. I think the town's wanted a football club back, Whitney Town, for a long time. To be appointed manager of the new team will be, it'll be an amazing journey for me to start with. It's one that I've worked hard to get here, and it's a challenge that I'm really looking forward to.
Now, everybody knows you, I think, that knows football in Whitney. You used to play for Northley as a centre forward, so you've got a little bit of pedigree at this level and sort of other levels around sort of Southern League and Hellenic League. But as a Whitney man born and bred, it must feel a great sense of pride that you've been asked to do this job and the first person to do it.
Yeah, of course, yeah. I loved my playing time at Northley. I'll always have a little soft spot for that club, but the history of Whitney Town Football Club's huge, isn't it? And it's a real honour to be a part of that and to put my own stamp on the club and, write my own history is something that, I'm really looking forward to.
So Whitney Town, 1885 to 2001, a really long and proud history, got into the Southern League, got into the FA Cup first round, really sadly folded in 2001. A group of supporters then brought Whitney United back for about 10 seasons. It didn't work out. Marriott Stadium unfortunately fell by the wayside. So this is really a clean slate, isn't it? And it's been formed slightly differently to the first Reformation in terms of Paul Foster, who's been the brains behind this. He's taking little baby steps, isn't he? He's not gone sort of flat out, and it's sort of slowly but surely to build this. And I guess that's pretty important.
Yeah, of course. it's a job that has got a big task ahead. It's one that Paul and everyone else that's on the board, I feel after meeting them for the first time, are the right people involved. They've got an amazing vision. The project's huge. But ultimately, yeah, we need to walk before we can run. We've got to grow organically, and they're the right people to do that. They've got the driving force behind them, and I know that they can make every success of this club possible.
Yeah, so we spoke to Paul Foster back at the start of the season, and he was very focused on his vision about how this club's going to build, and it will build from fairly sort of a low starting point. They're not going to be flying straight into the Southern League, clearly. Yeah. So it will be starting hopefully at senior level, so hopefully Oxfordshire Senior League or possibly Hellenic Division 2. That's the plan, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think ultimately you can't just go into the Hellenic League. I think Senior Prem is the stepping stone for that. I think we'd be naive to think that we can just walk into the Hellenic League. We wouldn't want to start in the Div 2 because it's a non-affiliated league. It's mainly for development clubs, but I think Senior Prem would be an ideal start for Whitney Town, yeah.
And a little bit of history of Oxford City as well here, because Oxford City obviously fell by the wayside when they were evicted from their ground. Very similar to what happened at Whitney, because they essentially were evicted from their ground because they couldn't keep up with the payments at the time. So I guess taking a bit of a leaf out of their book and seeing where they've now got to, they've gone all the way from the very lowest level that they could have played in right up to the National League. And I'm not suggesting for a minute that that's necessarily Whitney's ultimate ambition, but it just shows what can be done, doesn't it, if you get a team and a community behind you.
Yeah, I think if you look, any local football club would look at Oxford City as a fantastic business model. To start in the Senior League with 3 teams to now playing in a conference with over 700 players. It's an incredible journey, but it's one that's achievable. And I think that, it's early stages for Whitney Town at the minute, yeah. But, my main focus especially is just to build a squad worthy of starting the league next season. So I don't want to look too further past that. But, yeah, I mean, ultimately, I think... Yeah, that is the end goal. We do want to get Whitney back on the map.
Yeah, absolutely. And I remember when I was a kid growing up, I used to be quite proud in a strange sort of way, seeing Whitney Town on the classified results on the coupon at the end of Grandstand. That's how old I am. But a Ben Reardon football team. So we're looking now at how you're going to approach the start of the season. I know you've got open trials coming up, so you're going to invite anybody to come to those trials, but how do you think a Ben Reardon team will look and play, and how do you think that will develop over the course of time?
It's a very tough question because, like I just said, we're at very early stages. At the moment, I'm looking to build a squad ready for the start of the season. We have got an open trial day, which will be sometime early June, which will get announced very soon. I think as a coach, sometimes you look to how you played football or how you wanted to play football. I was an attacker. I like to play exciting football. Ultimately, I want to see my team play like that. I can confirm where we'll be playing.
Exclusive time,
and that will be Whitney ATP. That will be our home ground next season. So I think for my side, it would be criminal if we didn't play possession-based football. I think the modern game, especially on the 4G, we need to build up from the back. But if you look at the attacking phase of the game, I want to see in the final third my attackers go and express themselves and really be exciting and enjoy it.
Brilliant. And the ATP, I had a look at it actually on Sunday when you sort of hinted where it was going to be, and I went and had a look, and it's actually a decent venue, obviously a 4G pitch, so you can certainly pass the ball around on that sort of surface, and I guess that would equate to what your sort of philosophy on football is, to play that attractive, passing, attacking football.
Yeah, of course. Like I said, it'd be criminal not to on that pitch. I want to see the right football being played. But ultimately, from the players, I want to see them apply themselves right and have the right attitudes. Yeah. So, the squad I want to build has to have a backbone of experience, but I want to see some young players coming through as well, and I really want to help them to progress and get up the leagues, really.
Now, the local football scene around Witney, the Witney and District FA particularly, is a really strong league. There's so many teams, so many clubs. But I guess I'm not suggesting that you're going to try and sort of poach players from any of those clubs. But I guess that anybody that wants to have that opportunity to represent their town, to play in whatever colours are chosen, whether it's amber and black or yellow and blue, I guess that's a bit of a focal point, isn't it? That the players that are successful at these trials are going to be representing the town.
Yeah, absolutely. I have to go about my business the right way. I'm currently with a football club. I wouldn't want to speak to any of those players because out of respect.
Absolutely.
But ultimately, there will be an open trial day and everyone's welcome to come along. The more the merrier. It'd be great to see some players that I don't know of, some young players that want to better themselves and try out. But ultimately, it'd be nice to see some older faces as well that maybe I once played with. Because we're going to need a bit of experience in the side. So, everyone's welcome and I look forward to seeing them.
And just finally, the important thing, you're going to need a bit of experience in the playing side. You're going to need a lot of support off the pitch, aren't you? I know that the number of followers on the Witney Town social media group has really ballooned in the last couple of weeks. It's up to sort of close to 700. But for this to be a success, you're going to need the support of the town, aren't you? And you're going to need as many people to get behind this project as you possibly can and maybe sort of build something for the community for the future. Absolutely.
And we as Witney Town Football Club want to work with the community as well. We're going to need all the help that we can get. We have got the right people in the management side of things for me to push the club forward, but it would be lovely to get some old faces back watching some hopefully exciting football that they enjoy. Witney's huge, and when they last had a football club, the population was probably half of what it is now. To get a lot of people to come and watch the local club would be excellent.
It really would. And Ben, thank you so much for coming in. I can't wish you any more than the best of luck because I've got a bit of Witney passion. You know, I was press officer back in the 90s. That's how old I am. And it'll be fantastic to see them get back to a level that we've seen before. Yes, it'll be slow but sure, but brilliant news. And brilliant news actually about the fact that the ground has now been unveiled, if you like. So initially Witney will be playing at the Witney all-weather pitch, right in pretty much in the town centre, nice and local to lots of people, easy to get to. And there's a lot of scope at that place as well because it's a ground that can be developed, and I'm sure that will be something that will happen in the long term. But it's really, really good to see Witney Town finally back on the map and good to go next season. And I'm sure as many people that can squeeze into the ATP on the first home game, Ben, I'm sure they'll be there to witness that historic moment in August or September, whenever it is. Ben, thanks again for coming in. Really, really good. And I will definitely be interviewing you again during the course of the next couple of months. And we'll get Paul Foster back in as well at some point over the coming weeks, just to give an update of the behind the scenes stuff, because I know there's been an awful lot of work going on behind the scenes with Paul Foster, talking to lots of people that are important. And hopefully that will be really good, positive news to come forward as well. Thanks again, Ben. So we're going to move on now to our regular firm of solicitors, Lock, Line and Ride. They will be rounding up the rest of Step 2 and 3 and 5 and 6 leagues. And this will be with Colin Ride, Patrick Lock and Paul Lyon. Colin.
Hello and welcome to this review of local football with Patrick Lock. Hi, Patrick.
Hi, Colin.
And hi, Paul Lyon.
Hi, Colin.
Now then, I'm Colin Ride. So, Paul, I made my first ever visits to Wycombe Wanderers Adams Park on Saturday to witness a United's goalless draw in front of very large travelling support. And you hosted an equally large travelling support down at City, didn't you?
Yeah, 1,200 fans from Southend turned up. We allocated 1,200 tickets to them, thinking, maybe they might get rid of 1,000, but they sold out. They would have probably sold more if we'd allowed them to, but it was good to see a packed crowd, and they were pretty well behaved as well. We never saw any real problems at all, and it was really good. And the attendance was officially 1,845, which is the largest crowd for a standard league game at Court Farm. We beat the record earlier in the season when we played Hartlepool at home, when we had 1,423, and we've beat it by 400 this Saturday, 1,845. So that's another record broken. So it was good to see that we had a decent home support as well, because when United are playing away at Wycombe up the road, it's always like to have a small effect on our numbers, isn't it? But it was good, and and for once we actually played pretty well as well.
So United rode their luck a lot in the first 45 with their on-loan keeper Cummings having to make some really smart saves. And the absence of centre-back captain Elliot Moore, the young lad Negru did really well. So Paul, United ended the weekend just about hanging on to their playoff place.
Yeah, just hanging in there, Colin. What's that? Four draws in 5 games now for United. They're hard to beat, but they need to get a few more wins. I think they look like the playoffs should be achievable for them. I don't think they're going to make automatic promotion, but they've got a few tough games coming up. Northampton at home won't be as easy, because does that count as a derby, Patrick? Ooh, a bit far for a derby, isn't it, Northampton?
Well, I got told off on Thursday night with producer Matt for calling Wickham versus Oxford a derby, so I better keep quiet this week.
Yeah, so it's tough for United, but a couple of wins, and I think they'll cement their place in the playoffs. They should be okay.
So Oxford City also played out a goalless draw, Patrick, but was Saturday's Hoops performance a bit better than of late?
Yeah, definitely. I think we played pretty well on Saturday, and to be honest, I think a point was probably just about a fair result. But I kind of agree with Ross's interview where he said we had the better chances, and I'm sure we might move on to a couple of questionable offside decisions. I think Paul might mention in a minute, but it's one of those where you need the luck when you're in that position, and it just seems that we've not got that luck at times this season. But yeah, certainly a good performance, and on another day, I think we could have easily got the 3 points.
A couple of new faces in the City team, Paul. Can you tell us about those?
Yeah, goalkeeper Tom Watson is a Wigan goalkeeper, 19 years of age. We brought him in on loan. Ross just felt we needed a keeper with a little bit more experience at a higher level. I know he's only 19. It's not a lot of experience, but he's had experience of playing in and around the Football League. Did really well on Saturday. I thought he had a really good game, and kept a clean sheet. That's always good. And the other lad, Brooklyn Kabongolo, who's ironically was playing for Southend last week, and was offered a new contract at Southend, which he turned down, and he's come to us until the end of the season. And he played really well in defence. 21-year-old, 6'6" defender. Won most of the balls in the air. Looked like he can play football on the ground as well, and I think he was very composed. And the fact that we kept a clean sheet was good, because I think that's really one of our weaknesses this season, is keeping the clean sheets. When you don't score many goals, you need to keep the clean sheet, and that was good to see. Let's hope we can get another clean sheet tomorrow night.
Okay, a point is better than nothing, Patrick. But is there any sense on the terraces yet that it's too little, too late?
Yeah, table doesn't lie, but at the end of the day, you can't give up until it's over, can you? So the thing is, if City go and win 2 games this week, then it puts City probably 2 or 3 points away from the safety line again. And looking directly above there's about teams from about 10th position down to 23rd, which are all within about 5 or 6 points of each other. So who knows? If you get a couple of wins and get yourself back in that fight, then who knows really? But yeah, it's going to be tough either way, I think. But you got to keep believing, haven't you?
Got to keep believing. Okay, Patrick, take us through the rest of the weekend's results, how the tables looked, and what local football fans have to look forward to this weekend. Patrick Locke.
Yes, and we finally got almost a full range of fixtures again last weekend, after the previous weekend saw a few games called off, but sadly not much to shout about in the top 4 divisions of non-league in the county. As always, starting the Southern League Premier, and Didcot Town were denied a point by a late goal from James Dobson for Beaconsfield Town. It was just 5 minutes to play when his shot from outside the box found its way into the bottom corner. I can't tell from the highlights whether it was slightly deflected or not, but a cruel blow for Didcot there. Can hear from a frustrated Jamie Heapy, who thought the team played very well, and Adam Leroyd what they thought of after that game.
Jamie, Adam, good evening. Jamie, we'll start with you. A disappointing defeat in the end, a bit harsh to say the least. And what's your thoughts and early assessment on the game?
Not good enough. Too far off it, all over the park today. From how good we were Tuesday to night, we were just everywhere. Lost first ball, second balls. We just weren't out of races at all today, and I'm disappointed. If we'd have played anywhere like we have been doing, we would have given a positive result potentially. But no, not happy, mate. Disappointing day.
Adam, for yourself, I've been on quite a decent run, picking up some points in the last few moments. I mean, another clean sheet, unfortunately not a given, but what's your assessment as well, being out there?
Jamo said we've been brilliant over the last few games, and then we turn up today, or didn't turn up today, and it's just not good enough. You know, there's big 3 points today, and we should have got something out of it. Simple as that. But if you don't win your first, seconds, and run properly, you know, you're always going to be an uphill task. So yeah, real disappointing to be honest.
Obviously, Gemma, back to you. We do talk about working on ourselves and focusing on ourselves more, but there's been some results that haven't gone our way again today. Of course, the fight still carries on, but is it looking straightforward to Walton now and dusting ourselves down?
We've got to dust ourselves down and not feel sorry for ourselves. We know they know. We've told them, and they've just got to be better Tuesday night. It's a tough game. Walton will be good. We've got to be better than what we've shown today, and then we've got to be at it every game. And we're not, we'll get beat. Simple as that. And today we got beat. We were just sloppy, we just weren't with it at all today. So, big game Tuesday, you know, we've got to bounce back and show a bit of fight and heart and man up and be ready to go to battle Tuesday night. You know what I mean? That's the way it is. That's it really. Yeah, we've got to push on, 12 games left and that's it. We can't dwell on today, but we're not happy. I mean, he got man of the match, fully deserved, but you know, you don't want it's hard to take a man of the match when you've been beat. Because they've been outstanding in the league. And again, he was the right decision by the sponsors, by the way, to make him man of the match. He was great today. But it don't show for anything, you know what I mean? It's just frustrating though, mate. But we need to stick together, regroup and go again Tuesday.
You said it perfectly there, to be fair. We'll get in there, play a match today. Adam Leroy, if you want to present Adam with the bubbly behind you by David Anderson of Allen and Foxworthy, who'll be sponsoring for the rest of the season. Cheers, guys. Roll on to Tuesday.
In the Southern League Division 1, it was 2 defeats for our sides in action. Kidlington went down 2-0 away at AFC Dunstable. 2 goals coming after the hour mark there to see them come home with no points. We'll hear from Mark Massingham now and hear what he said at full time.
Plenty of chances in the first half, a red card and a huge penalty shout that could change the game in the second. Mass, your initial thoughts?
First half, Dunstable good, play good football. First half, it's criminal, our finishing, to be quite honest. Should have gone through one-on-one, a bit wide. There's a header at the end, which a little bit of confusion is for the player that's attacking it. Very good. Yes, it's probably a goal. And that changes the game, doesn't it? Going at half time with just even one of them, the whole second half's different, the whole team talks different. I think first half we were good. Spells we were good. The Dunstable played really good football, kept the ball really well. We did what we needed to do to counteract that and hit them in a way that we wanted to really, really well. So, a little bit more quality in the first half. We could have been out of sight, but we didn't.
Did Kidlington do enough to be successful today? I mean, it was 2 halves and 2 different real Kidlington performances.
We definitely deserved something first half, but what's deserving anything in this evening? We didn't score. That's the harsh reality. We didn't score. If we did, then I'd probably be standing here with 3 points behind us. But the story of our season, too many players have not stepped up in the key moments and finished the ball. And it's an annoying habit that I would quite happily swap for many others. So first half, I do think we probably deserve something. Second half, be truthful, 2 or 3 of the lads I think switched off for portions of the game, and Dunstable are not a team that you can do that to. They kept the ball really well.
Do results like this make the last 10-11 games really important now?
Yes and no. It's a tight league. I mean, 2 wins and you could be 4 or 5 places up, but it's not so much the games. We took Bedford, who are maybe Bicklesway Town, and certainly got to be the mad favourites to lift it now. We took them and we had really good chance against them. It's not so much that, it's more when's the penny going to drop that we got to put the ball in the back of the net. That's the bigger issue.
Finally, in that league, Leighton Town beat Tame United as well. Charlie Patterson put Leighton Town ahead just after the half hour, but Tame levelled through Harry Alexander just about on the hour mark. But the hosts scored twice again in the final 10 minutes to see them keep all 3 points, and again Tame coming back to Oxfordshire with no points. In step 5, and Ardley United were the big winners of the weekend. They won 5-0 away at Chalfont St Peter. After last week's injury in goal, Ardley United started with midfielder Declan Benjamin in goal, who kept a clean sheet for them, which was remarkable. And any Oxford City fans listening will remember his goalkeeping heroics back in 2014-15 when there was many goalkeeper red cards, and he often would step in and actually kept 2 or 3 clean sheets in that run as well. So certainly got a bit of goalkeeping prowess in him, but yeah, it's good to see him in between the sticks again, and yeah, kept a good clean sheet there for them that day. Elsewhere in the combined counties Premier, Milton United were beaten 4-1 away at North Greenford United, and Wallingford and Crowmarsh were held to a goalless draw against Wokingham and Embrook. In the Hellenic Premier, Wantage Town were beaten again. They were well beaten 3-0 away at Royal Wootton Bassett Town. But Easington Sports, they were winners as well in the United Counties League. They beat Coventry United 3-2, but they trailed 2-1 at the break, so a good comeback for them in the second half. In Hellenic Division 1, Abingdon United played on Friday night and won 4-0 away at Southam United. It was a game I was actually at, and it was a very entertaining evening, especially for a fiver. But Dan Chalmers gave them the lead after 10 minutes after a good ball into the box. So it bounced around a little bit, and he was there to smash home from close range. It was second half, though, before they added their second, when Harry Ackland had a good header after another cross into the box. Dylan Conlon beat the offside trap for a third as he was fed through with a good through ball, with Ackland then grabbing a second late on with another bullet header, actually. It wasn't quite the whole story of the game. Things did get a bit heated. Southam ending with 9 men, actually, 2 red cards. One for a last man foul in the first half, and I think the head boiled over a little bit, and there was a couple of yellow cards for their big striker who lost his head a little bit, I have to say. But certainly an entertaining night of football there. Clanfield, they were also 4-0 winners in Hellenic Division 1. They were away at Morton Rangers, and there was 2 braces that for them there, and with George C. Cole and Reuben Harry grabbing the goals for them there with that big win. On Sunday, there was a double header in the Royal Charging Stadium with 2 Oxford County Cup matches for Oxford United women and then Oxford City women. Oxford United beat Tame 15-0 in the early game, but City's match against Oxford University was abandoned after a power cut in the local area. So that one will be rearranged for another day. So sad that the double header couldn't get all the way to the end there. So after the action, we'll have a quick look at all the tables after, as they were following Saturday's action. Oxford United, as we've already heard, they're clinging on to their playoff position in 6th in League One. Oxford City remain bottom of the National League. Banbury United are in 18th in the National League North. Didcot Town, the bottom of the Southern League Premier South, while in the Southern League Division 1 Central, Northley 3rd, Kidlington 16th and Tame 18th. And finally, coming up this weekend, Oxford United, they host Leyton Orient at the Kassam. Oxford City have their longest trip of the season all the way up to Gateshead in the National League. Was actually South Shields becoming near the A1M. They're hosted by Banbury United in the National League North. So 2 very long journeys in and out of Oxfordshire coming up on Saturday. Didcot Town, they're on their travels as well, but much more local as they just head down the A34 to Salisbury. Northley on the road, they head to Kings Langley, while Tame United host Hertford Town, and Kidlington host Biggleswade Town as well in the Southern League Division 1 Central. And finally, on Sunday, Oxford United women, they haven't got a game, but Oxford City women host Winchester City Flyers in the Southern Region Women's Premier. And back to you, Colin.
Okay, Patrick and Paul Lyon, thank you so much. I'm Colin Wright, handing back to the main studio for much more Ox Sports Unleashed.
Our thanks there to our firm of solicitors, Lock, Lyon and Ride, or as I like to call them, the 3 amigos. Another great roundup of Oxfordshire sports and some different highlights there, which was interesting to see as well. So please, as we say always on Ox Sports Unleashed, if you've got any footage you want us to use, please do so and send it to us at our email address, which I haven't mentioned tonight, oxsportsunleashed@gmail.com. That's oxsportsunleashed@gmail.com. We'll be pleased to receive it. Now, the eagle-eyed among you, Kieran used my catchphrase tonight, will notice that he's departed from the seat and we've been joined by Oxford United Women's Ellie Noble. Welcome, Ellie. Thanks for joining us. We've interviewed you a few times on radio back during COVID and one or two times since, but we never really asked you about your footballing journey, where it started, where you got the inspiration from, where did you train, that sort of thing. So can you just give us a little bit of a potted history, if you like, of Ellie Noble?
Well, I have an older brother, my brother Ali. Growing up, I always just copied him, so we just kicked the ball about together. And I was kind of lucky, there was a sports club happening in my village, and it was run by a guy called Jason Carbon. My dad helped get involved and volunteered there, and that was a place where I'm one of four, so he kind of just pushed us all there on a Saturday afternoon. And so I loved playing sports there, obviously played a lot of football, and then as time went on, this guy Jason was also a coach at Oxford United, and he got me a trial at Oxford United, and that was probably at under-10s, and then from there onwards I just played at Oxford, went through the age groups, had a variety of different coaches, made my debut at 16, and then kind of left Oxford, went to uni at 19, and then here I am.
There you go. Nice little potted history there. I think that was good. That was well rounded up as well, I have to say. Really interesting there, because it's great when you've got siblings and you're playing together and having that experience. I think it's wonderful. So, did you play any boys' football at the time, or was it just purely girls' football at the time?
I didn't play any boys' football. I didn't play for any grassroots club before Oxford, so I wasn't really aware if it was boys or girls. Playground, it was always against the boys, and I was very much a tomboy when I was younger in primary school, so I always played football with the boys. That probably helped me, kind of left me in good stead going into the girls' sides, but no, I never did. I know my brother played for Childgrove, so I saw kind of boys' football growing up, but I never played for any boys or girls club before Oxford.
It was quite exclusive in that respect. No, absolutely. We're struggling with mics apparently. Let's just check. Should we have a mic test?
Hello.
Is that good? Oh, hang on. Let's go that way then. I thought that way. Let's try that. Is that good? We apologise for that. I hope that didn't spoil too much. Because Ellie did give us some good feedback there. We'll carry on.
Okay, thank you.
It always happens. This is live. That shows we're definitely live, so it's all good. We'll go on our blooper reel. You know.
Okay.
No worries. More of a serious note. When you got to Oxford United, that transition through and playing at that level. What was that like, and what was it like getting your debut?
It was amazing, to be honest. It was quite special because a lot of the coaches there had known me since I was about 8. I do remember my debut as Yeovil away on a weekday evening, so it wasn't at home or anything. But it was very special. I think when it's a club that you've grown up at and everybody knows you and things like that, it does make it really, really special. And I think it was always something that I'd kind of aimed for, working my way up through the age groups. I think that's where my dad had a really big influence, because he'd always take me to the women's games. We'd go and watch them play at Abingdon. So I always had that to look forward to, and there were players who I saw in the first team growing up, and I wanted to play alongside them. So it was quite nice that I had the opportunity to do that. And obviously, when it's your home club and things like that, it obviously means a lot more.
Who were your favourite players growing up?
For me, at Oxford United, it was Kaylee Hines. I think she actually moved on from Oxford and went into the WSL with Reading when they got promoted, and you know, Reading had to pay a fee for her, and at that kind of time that was quite a big thing for a club like Oxford, and so I always looked up to her. She played in midfield as well, and she kind of got stuck in and things like that and scored a lot of long range goals, so that was something that I wanted to be like, but yeah, Kaylee Hines was always someone I looked up to.
That's interesting. Just coming on to a more serious note for a moment, you had quite severe concussion, and it's still having a little bit of an impact on your game at the moment, isn't it? Can you just give us an insight of how it happened, what the process was, and some of the protocols you went through after that, and some of the things that's happened since?
Yeah, it's kind of it's an interesting one, really. I've never seen concussions in women's football, and mine, I had a concussion just before Christmas. I think it was maybe 2019, 2020. Went through the protocol. That was very clear, black and white one. Came back from that within a few weeks. It was very innocuous. And then we had another one after Christmas where I had a couple of knocks in a game. It was actually one just from a football. It was these old mitre balls that was sort of filled with water, and it was from a drop kick, and I've gone to head it to flick it on in the middle, and I remember it really hurting at the time, but not thinking too much of it. And then from then onwards, kind of complaining of neck pain, and they thought, oh, well, you've probably got a bit of whiplash. And I think the reality was that it was more serious than that. From then onwards, for about a month, I was experiencing kind of extreme fatigue, kind of haziness. I was studying at the time at uni, and I found that really hard. And you know, I kind of went to the club and said, I don't feel well, and they said to go down the GP route and to kind of see if I had any issues there. I think fatigue was the biggest one, but the reality was, unfortunately, it was a concussion, and kind of that gap of not being removed from all sport and things like that wasn't ideal, and kind of that meant that concussion lasted for about 3 months. After that 3 months, we were kind of doing return to play, and kind of in a really stressful period of my life. It was towards the end of the season where contracts were coming up and uni deadlines were there, and I was catching up on the work I'd missed a few months previously, and that period of stress brought on vestibular migraines, and these were kind of a side effect of the concussion, and it not really being dealt with. And it took quite a long time for that to be diagnosed. I was suffering with them for about 5 months, and it was kind of the same symptoms as a concussion, really. And that was really hard. So I was kind of out from January to September with concussion or a concussion-related injury. And, you know, I take medication for that now as if it were kind of regular migraines. And it's something that now, like, I'm completely at peace with. It's been a journey to get to that point. I think sort of emotionally and kind of mentally, it's been quite something to take on. I think, you know, if you come back from a knee injury and your knee's a bit sore, people don't really ask any questions, but with a concussion and kind of suffering weird things that it's quite hard to talk about or to explain, was difficult. But actually, luckily for me, I feel completely at ease with that now, and it was a hard time, but yeah, I'm out the other side, so yeah, all good now.
Oh, that's really pleasing to hear. I mean, that's quite a harrowing thing to hear anybody say, but so thanks for being so honest and open with us there, Ellie. That was absolutely brilliant. So your journey now back to the O-Shire, as I like to call it, back playing for Oxford United Women. So you're looking forward to that start of the next journey for you?
Yeah, definitely. I think it was kind of, everything sort of happened last minute. I was at Crystal Palace. I'd come back from an ACL injury, looking for game time. We had a loan agreement on the table at a different club. That fell through last minute. We had about, I think, 3 days left till the transfer deadline, and we were we just needed to find somewhere, and luckily Oxford came in and saved the day for me. I think it's just luck now that it happened to be, you know, my hometown club, and it's back home for me, and it's familiar, and I know people, and I count myself lucky to find myself in this position.
Yeah, no, that's good to hear as well. We wish you the very best of luck for that on that next journey. Just a couple of lighter notes to finish, Ellie, because I've known you for quite some time. Noblet, as I call her, really. I don't know.
PC
I don't
version,
even know why. But we'll move swiftly on. Gooners.
Yeah.
Together, Arsenal doing quite well, aren't
Yeah.
they?
Yeah, big fan.
Yeah. There's a certain producer behind the screen who's a Tottenham supporter. We won't
dear,
hold that against him. Sorry, Patrick.
No comment.
But yeah, absolutely. Last night not so good, but in the league, doing okay.
Smashing it.
And obviously, I sort of got to know you through cricket more than football. You played at a reasonable high standard. You played for Oxfordshire women's team there. Looking to get back into cricket, are you?
Oh, well, you never really leave it, do you? It's just been, yeah. It's something that I've always loved doing, and obviously it's in the off season with football, so you keep fit and things like that. And my home club is Tiddington, and that's the local for me, and I've always loved playing there. I've loved playing men's cricket, so they've always welcomed me and pushed me and things like that. So maybe a few games for them this summer.
It's quite interesting. I've never disclosed this to anybody, but I did play cricket against Ellie a few years ago, and she did bowl at me, and I was absolutely not getting out to Ellie Noble.
I gathered that, yeah. I knew it when we were playing, but I really wanted to get you out as well.
There was great competitive edge on both of it, so it was absolutely superb.
Yeah.
I remember thinking, it was a bit of a stodgy wicket. You bowled really well at me, actually. And
you got 50 in that match as well, Aaron.
Sorry, I didn't mean that.
Spring up old wounds, it's fine.
It probably was off about 5,000 balls, I think, if I remember rightly. So it wasn't pretty to watch, that's for sure. But we had a good time on that. So there you go. I disclosed that live on air for you. Ellie, look, thanks for coming in. Thanks for being so open and honest with us again. And it's always a joy to have you here with us. But we wish you the very best of luck in your next journey. I hope it goes really well. That was Ellie Noble, everyone. I think you agree that was a fantastic interview. I'll move on swiftly because we had a piece last week on our last episode that we didn't give the best description to, if you like. It was the Matty Taylor piece at Kidlington. It's basically a BTEC course that you can go on between the ages of 16 and 18, and it's a really good thing. You can go and train for football, but you'll get a qualification off the back of it. It's something I tried to do actually about 6 years ago for cricket, and I couldn't get the amount of people I needed for the course, so it died a death. So I wish Matty all the very best of luck. And we're going to show you the footage again because I think it's worthy of showing. So this is Matty Taylor and the BTEC course at Kidlington Football Club.
Why should people choose Kidlington over other 16 to 18 local programmes?
I think for me, obviously born and bred in Kidlington, an Oxford lad. The community is brilliant here. Obviously, myself, I'm going to be very, very involved in this programme. It's obviously something that I did when I was 16, and it really helped me start my journey and get me back into football. Obviously, alongside that, the education as well that you get during this course is obviously fantastic and can lead obviously different paths and avenues, whether that's universities or scholarships. It's a brilliant course. Selling points and some of the perks of this course would be obviously myself and John Massigno are going to be heavily involved in this course. We'll be there to offer obviously guidance, offer sessions, offer any advice with our expertise in the football world. Obviously, you're going to be getting a great education through the course. We'll lead you on to different avenues, whether that's universities, scholarships, jobs, hopefully lots of 16 to 18 year olds in the local area coming down and sign up for this course. It's going to be a great course to run.
There you go, Matty Taylor there on the BTEC course happening at Kidlington Football Club. Really worthwhile because it gives you a qualification as well. So I was excited to try and do that, like I say, 6 years ago, and I think it's a well-worthy course. So if you're looking to do anything like that, you can find out the information from Matty Taylor.
And what a brilliant interview with Ellie as well. That's really candid. And thank you, everybody, for still watching. We've still got loads and loads of viewers. It's easily the best show we've had in terms of viewers. And I've noticed our subscriptions have gone up to 295. So 295. If you're watching and you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. It's really gone up this evening.
Let's get up to 300 tonight.
Let's get up to 300 tonight. That would be amazing. Darry, you're being a bit quiet, apparently.
But very quiet?
That's not a bad thing. But so, without further ado, we'll crack on with a little bit more football. And for the first time, and it's hopefully not the last, the first time we've got some North Berks League footage this evening, and this is courtesy of BA Media Management, and this is Didcot Town Youth against Marcham in the North Berks League on Saturday. Thank you so much to BA Media Management and to for sending this footage to us. As I've said, if anybody else from the North Berks League is watching and you want to get your footage on, if you've captured a cracking goal that we can feature in our goal of the season competition, send it in. We're building up quite a big list of amazing goals. It's going to be really tough for us to whittle that down to sort of 10 goals to vote on at the end of the season, and the winner will receive a really nice award. So this is Didcot Town Youth against Marcham in the North Berks League on Saturday.
Oh, so centre half. Right, it's knackered, bro. Hit the target. Yeah.
There you go, that's Didcot Town Youth Development against Marcham 4-2 in the North Berks League. Our first North Berks League coverage has taken us a while, but brilliant stuff. Thank you very much to BA Media Management for allowing us to use that footage. As I said, if you're watching from the North Berks League and you want your club covered, send your footage in to us, particularly if you've got a cracking goal. As I mentioned earlier, we'd love to feature it in our goal of the week or goal of the season competition, which will be really, really, really good. Just a quick thank you again to everybody who's watching the scene. We've reached 100 concurrent viewers, 100 individual viewers, which is an absolute record for us. Really, really pleased with that. Two brilliant interviews. If you're watching and you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Can we get to 300?
300. We want to get to 300, guys. Come
300
on.
tonight.
Press those subscribers.
That'll be fantastic. Right, we're now going to head back to midweek non-league football. We've got some highlights of 2 games, Oxford City against Eastleigh, and then Banbury United, they had a trip up to Derbyshire for the second time in 4 days, up to Alfreton with a bit of a threadbare squad with the injuries that they picked up on the Saturday. So first of all, we'll go to the Royal Charging Stadium. If you're of a nervous disposition, maybe look away now, particularly the first few minutes of this one. And this is the highlights, sort of highlights, from Oxford City's midweek game against Eastleigh.
Kai, Scott Quigley and Oscar Rutherford, and here come Eastleigh again down the right. It's a good cross into the box, headed towards goal. It could be the first goal of the game, and it is. And already, after 51 seconds, Eastleigh take the lead, and it is that man, the league's leading marksman, Paul McCallum, who gets the goal. Freeview Channel 722 or your DAB digital radio on 95.2 FM. Also, Alfreton have taken the lead locally against Banbury, but here at this game, Eastleigh continue to try and work their way forward. Reece Fleet has nowhere to go, and the ball bounces around inside the area, and there's another chance here, and Eastleigh could score again, and they do score again. And it's McCallum who has his second goal in just 7 minutes. Eastleigh have a corner again, and City have more defending to do. Again, it's going to be Reeves, left-footed in swinger, into the 6-yard box, and it's in! And it's 3-0 to Eastleigh with only 11 minutes on the clock. And that is absolutely devastating from an Oxford City point of view.
No free kick given, and Eastleigh coming in away with it again. McCallum with the ball out to the right-hand side. Jacob Roddy just trying to shepherd the ball into the penalty area towards McCallum, but cleared away. Not cleared away very well though. Now there's a chance for 4, and that is game, set, match. We've alluded to it time and time again, and you have quite rightly said it is what it is. City have to take it.
Oh, there's a chance here, and here comes Taylor, the captain, in on goal. Taylor for a chance, and it is. It's 5-0 Eastleigh, and once again, it's as simple as that. A big long ball forward, which this time Jake Taylor runs onto. And it might not seem like that, and I might get a few pelters for saying so, but I think they do. I think these lads, and if they don't, I'll pause here, because here comes City.
Yep, Potter to Parker. Parker's got Greenslade to his left, but cleared away, and there is a goal for City. It's Alfie Potter. A pre-season training game at the moment, but City on the attack again. Harvey Greenslade just gets himself to the edge of the penalty area, finds Lewis Coyle. Greenslade goes down under no challenge, just slips on this 3G surface. Reece Fleet with a chance to have a crack from distance, and McDonald
found it difficult. They're learning lessons. I'll pause again.
With a chance. Referee has given a penalty, and it was Alfie Potter was fouled there in the penalty area, and City have got a penalty. Parker still with his hands on his hips, and McDonald making himself look big. Parker takes 3 or 4 steps, and he drives it over the bar. And that was a shocking penalty, to be fair, and that really does sum up Oxford City's day. So Ashby over this free kick. We're into the 4th minute now of time out on. Ashby tries to chip the ball over. Alfie Potter blocked, and can easily clear it. Handball appeal there. Referee says no, but Reece Fleet picks up the loose ball. Giles Phillip into Levi Lemecca, and Oxford City have scored a second. Levi Lemecca has tucked that one in.
Ross, 5-2 defeat to Eastleigh this evening. What are your thoughts on that?
Could have been 5-5. We had more than enough chances second half to bring the game back. Created loads more chances second half, which we wanted to do. A bit more aggression in our play. And yeah, just didn't take some of the chances we should have. But we could go through it, and we've probably created about 7 good chances second half. And only scored 2, and obviously missed a penalty, hit crossbar. Goalie's made a good save. Levi's cut inside and had a left foot shot, probably could do better with, although he scored. Yeah, a few chances in there that we could have brought the game right back, but to concede 3 in the 12 minutes, it's yeah, you never plan for that.
There you go, that's Ross Jenkins reflecting on not a great night for Oxford City. 3-0 down after 11 minutes. You're not going to come back from that, to be fair. Although City did score a couple of half-decent goals, it was too little too late, I'm afraid.
It was a little bit
suspect.
Yeah.
On that note, before we move on to Banbury United, my commentary on Saturday basically said what a great refereeing decision it was for the offside goal that went in. It wasn't. I'm going to fess up and say I was wrong. It was not good. Patrick's just said it was about 2 yards offside, but I always back the referees. Banbury United, they had a second successive trip up to Derbyshire on Tuesday to take on Alfreton Town. They'd had something like 7 unbeaten at home, Alfreton, so it was a real challenge anyway. Banbury without, as we mentioned earlier, Charlie Waller, who picked up a really bad injury on the Saturday. So they had the unenviable task of going up to Alfreton on Tuesday evening in the National League North, and here are the highlights from that game.
Falls to run around on the edge, but it's swiftly closed down by the he tries to release Jordan Beamerton. It's a great ball. Jeremy McDonough. He gets the shot away, but it's saved by the goalkeeper. It was sort of Arsenal on the ball here in the midfield. It's a play a ball in behind towards Charles. Gets past Diggy. It could be a chance for an equaliser. Willis comes up. Brilliant, George Willis. Smothers it. Great save. Will be taken by Willis. Towards Diggy. Can't quite get his head to it. A drop for Willock. Goes back to Wide. Herrick gets it into the area. Joe Day gets his head to it. Falls for Ken Diggy. Ken Diggy gets the 2-0. Walks it past the goalkeeper. Great tip on from Diggy. Double their lead. So you may well see second change, third change. As the corner comes in towards Adam Lund, who's peeled away at the back post. Header comes in. It was looking like he was going to.
So there you go, not a great week for football in Oxfordshire. Didcot Town also were pegged back. They went 1-0 up against Waltham and Hersham and then were pegged back to 1-1, which I don't think is particularly helpful in their battle against relegation. Although Waltham and Hersham, they are a decent side and they're in the top half of the table, so perhaps a 1-1 draw is decent, but when you're 1-0 up, it's obviously going to be a bit disappointing. Banbury United, the results didn't go their way on Tuesday either, so they're being dragged back into that relegation mix. Just 2 places above the drop zone now. Kings Lynn winning at Brackley, which was a real shock result, and that has closed that gap a little bit in the Vanarama National League North. We've now got a goal of the week contender for you. This is from Letcombe Football Club. They were playing Fairford Town in the quarter-finals of the Hellenic League Challenge Cup on Tuesday evening. This is one of the goals. Letcombe drew 3-3 at Cinder Lane, which is the home of Fairford. Here's the ball coming in, decent cross, and a decent, powerful header at the back post. Not a bad goal there, to be fair. And Letcombe drew 3-3 in that game in the quarter-final of the Challenge Cup, and then they won 5-4 on penalties. So they are into the semi-finals of the Hellenic League Challenge Cup. So there was some good news.
There's some good news there, and I think also, not one of the best goals we've seen, but actually from a move that probably was worked in training that came off in a game is worthy of seeing. So all good.
Will it make our final 10 because of the cross? The cross was really good. It was pinpoint onto the head, wasn't it? Before we go on to the results, just a quick mention of some rugby union. We've been following Chinner all season. Unfortunately, Chinner had a rare defeat on Saturday, and Rams actually won, so they closed the gap to make it level on points at the top of National League One. Chinner went down 22-17 away to Blackheath in the National League One. This Saturday, they're back at Kingsley Road, back at their fortress. They're taking on the Taunton Titans on the Saturday, and hopefully they will return to winning ways. I'm sure they will. Nick Easter down there at Kingsley Road has got a fantastic team. I did notice they were on BBC today, so they followed up from our stuff, and they're now following them as well. Absolutely, brilliant stuff. So hopefully Chinner will return to winning ways. I'm sure they will on Saturday. Get down to Kingsley Road if you're at a loose end and you haven't got any football to watch. Darryl and I went a few weeks ago. It's worth going. It's terrific rugby, and all our friends at Chinner, thank you very much for all your support, and we will certainly be there again before the end of the season. Darryl.
Yep, no, brilliant, well said. Well, that takes us quite nicely on to our normal roundup of results. So we're going to show you all the results from around Oxfordshire last weekend.
There you go. That's the results roundup from the weekend and the midweek. We even got a Coronation Cup Banbury District Lord Jersey FA midweek game in there, so that was really, really good to get in there. Bit remiss of us if we don't mention Oxford City Stars. They haven't had a game this week. They don't have a game this weekend either. Just a little bit of a break, but they do return to action next Saturday against the Streatham Redhawks, and we will be very much looking forward to receiving the footage from Carl Catling and an interview hopefully with the coach or a player or whoever's interviewed after the game. It's normally the coach, isn't it? It's normally him, but fingers crossed we'll get some good footage of that next week. And I think that probably just about wraps things up for today, Darryl. And it's been, I think, without a doubt, the most engaging show that we've had in our 19 episodes. We're so chuffed that you've joined us. Still lots of people watching even now. They're hanging on to the dear end, which is great.
This is great. I was just going to say, wow. Absolutely brilliant tonight. It was a packed programme as we thought it might be, but the interviews were something special tonight.
Yeah,
so thanks for joining us as always on Ox Sports Unleashed. That about wraps it up. We've had some exclusives tonight. We've had some really good interviews. Where can you get this? Right here
right
on Ox
here.
Sports Unleashed.
Absolutely.
And if you want anything to be shown or you want us to mention anything, please do get in contact. And that email address again, which I'll give, is oxsportsunleashed@gmail.com. oxsportsunleashed@gmail.com. Please send it to us.
And I think, Darryl, it's fair to say that we're passionate about Oxfordshire sport, and anything that we can get out there, we're going to do that. And we do need your help. We've had lots and lots of viewers tonight, so we do need the help of all of you out there, because without your help and without your support, this show would just be two old farts talking, really, wouldn't it? So I mean,
I'd like to say one old.
Oh yeah, that's just
Yeah, that's me.
yeah. And who knows? My thumb is starting to recover, so maybe we might bring the feature back that we had planned at the start.
We might
because
get Challenge Kdog
we
back
might
in.
get that back up and running, because the athletics track and field season's starting soon. I fancy myself as a bit of a high jumper or a long jumper, maybe. Or maybe a hurdler, who knows?
I can see you wearing a jumper. But anyway, moving swiftly on, that does about wrap it up for this week on Ox Sports Unleashed. The week that England lost the third Test match.
Rubbish.
But we're looking forward to tomorrow morning at 4 a.m. for the fourth Test match. There's quite a lot riding on it in this studio, that is for sure. Lots of money flying around from him, betting that we're gonna lose 4-1.
We are.
But we'll see what happens. We'll wish England all the very best for tomorrow. And that's it. Thanks again for joining us wherever you've been. That was Ox Sports Unleashed. But please join us again next Thursday live when we're at Unleash some more Ox Sports. It's good night from me.
See ya.